Oh my, and what's this I see? Is my darling coming to pay me a visit at this hour? How irresponsible! Doesn't she know there's a killer on the loose? Oh, of course she does. I must have told her 1,000,000 times by now. Perhaps I ought to teach her a lesson about guarding her own life. Oh, indeed, perhaps that's what's necessary. Maybe I should tell funny jokes until she can't breathe. Or perhaps I could tickle her until she begs for mercy. Oh, I only tease, my dear. After all, it is my understanding that we have a lot to discuss this evening, do we not? Then by all means, come inside before you catch your death of cold. That's a good girl, isn't it? Do get comfortable, as always. My home is your home, whether or not you consider it homey. Is that so? You do find its interior more inviting than your own home? I take it then that my presence here is what makes the difference? I see. Now then, my lady, may I offer you a warm drink? You're shaking like a leaf. Of course, perhaps that's just your nerves? Oh, indeed, I can't sense them. Much better. I always keep your book handy. You know this by now, don't you? I know precisely why you're here and what we need to discuss. There's no need to be nervous, I already know your intentions. You want to know my opinion on your intentions? Personally, I don't think my opinion matters. However, if you do want to know my thoughts on it, I support your decision fully. I believe the last time I checked my book was just this morning. Why do you ask, darling? Oh, I see. You've changed your mind since then. Oh, certainly not, my dear. As long as you don't have an issue with it, I don't have an issue with you changing your mind. Might I ask, then, what your new plan is? I see. As I said, my dear, as long as you have no issue with your decision, I don't either. I think that choosing to carry the pregnancy to term and raise the child is very brave. Oh, certainly. Have you not seen what mothers have to go through? Raising a child as their own, it's rather frightening, especially if that child is going to be half Reba, which this one will be. It is my child, is it not? I suspected as much, but for some odd reason the book didn't say when I checked it earlier. I thought something was wrong with it, so I decided to ask you for confirmation before assuming anything. Oh no, dear. Thank you for being so patient with my question. I suspect that if it came from anyone else, you would immediately assume they thought you were cheating. I assure you, I never doubted you for a second. Why did I not doubt you? Well, why would I? We've been together for years, and we've had our ups and downs. Though it has gotten bad at some points, we always bounce back now, don't we? Precisely, my dear. In this relationship, there's no need for doubt. We're both loyal to one another, through thick and through thin. Oh my, was that an attempt at a joke? You said that things are going to get rather thick now. Was that a joke about how much weight you're going to gain when you're pregnant? I thought so. Rather amusing, if I do say so myself. Though, of course, not quite enough to make me laugh. I'm sure you'll get there eventually, though, my dear. Just keep at it. Oh? You think you have an idea? And what might that be? There's another matter you wanted to discuss. By all means, then, do continue, my dear. The name of the child. Do you already have ideas in mind? Oh, then do go ahead and share them. Oh my, what an interesting name for if we raise a daughter. Angela. That name sounds rather familiar, but I can't quite place it at this time. And if we raise a son? You think we could name him CL? And you wouldn't happen to be referring to the Queen's guard dog, would you? Oh my! Indeed, he is more of a Queen's lapdog than a guard dog. If I didn't know you were going to say that, I probably would have laughed. Oh, indeed, I knew. You always call him that. I was expecting it this time. Remember when I originally heard it? I burst out laughing and the entire building shook. Don't be too hard on yourself, my dear. You came very close to making me laugh this time. Although, there is something that's missing from this celebration of your news. Oh, indeed. Do you not recall the last time you had important news to share? Oh dear, you can't even recall the last time you had news worth sharing. Well then, by all means, let me remind you, my dear. You see, it was just after you got invited to a party, and you were required to bring an extra guest. I remember you came running through that door like you were on fire. You asked immediately if I would attend the party with you, and of course I said yes. Then, do you remember what I did after, when you showed me what you'd be wearing? You don't recall still? Well then, my dear, how about I refresh your memory with a little hands-on experience? I would advise against running, my dear. Wouldn't want to exhaust yourself now that you're carrying a child. Now just stay still and let me make you laugh. Oh dear, it seems I remember all of your ticklish spots, don't I? Oh? Begging for mercy already? My goodness, you get weaker each time. All right, I'll stop for now. Do catch your breath, my dear. I'd hate for you to die so soon after giving me such wonderful news. Oh? And what is this question you have for me? Oh, I see. You're worried about what's going to happen to you now. And why exactly is that? Oh dear. I knew I'd forgotten something. Did I forget to propose to you recently? Oh dear, it seems that I did. Look at your finger, not a single ring on it. My oh my, I'll have to change that, won't I? Oh no, certainly not while you're expecting it, my dear. Not right now. However, I know exactly when you won't be expecting it. Your book says it all. So at that moment, I'll ask you, all right? And I'm guessing you'll say yes, correct? Oh, very good, very good. Now then, my dear, since you seem to have caught your breath, how about we celebrate this news with a little more laughter? Oh? A yawn instead? Oh my, have I exhausted you already? My apologies, dear. Would you care to spend the night? Oh, don't worry, I have a guest bedroom. Come with me, would you? Indeed, it is right here. It's a coffin. Well, we can't sleep in the same coffin now, can we? No, I'm afraid I don't have any real beds. What does a Reaper need with a real bed anyway? Oh, yes, I suppose you humans do enjoy sleeping on beds, but trust me, these coffins are quite comfortable. Just lie down and see how it feels, my dear. See? It's like sleeping in heaven, isn't it? Well, probably because most of the bodies that are in those coffins are sleeping in heaven. Oh, indeed, there are some who are sleeping in hell, but we try not to think of those ones. And if we do think of those ones, we think at least their body is getting better treatment than their soul. All right, that seems to have drawn a laugh from you. So with that, how about you get some rest, my dear? I have no doubt that you'll be needing every bit of rest you can get.